for church. You might be getting ready for your day. I hope you're having a casual, chill Sunday. My name's Tony. You're watching Faith and Coffee Bean. This is going to be a live review, so if you watch it later on, always remember these are lives. It's kind of rare I do reviews lives, but for this one, I've just done 2 reviews on these particular products, and I'm super happy and super excited. So just kind of long story short, I'm going to tell you guys something. Every now and then, brands do reach out to me, and Vereybarista is a really neat brand. They're the official, basically distributor of IMS products and stuff here in the United States. So they officially get them from Italy and they distribute them. They're available on Amazon. They sent this to me completely as a review. This is not a paid thing. I'm not some big YouTuber. And that kind of segues into another thing. If you haven't already, if you're a coffee geek like me, best way you can show me your support is by subscribing. There's just no other way to say it. I just had my year anniversary. I'm a very small YouTuber. So I really, there's no crazy agenda for starting this channel. I do not, yeah. I'm a small YouTuber. I'm a big coffee geek, y'all. This is my coffee corner. This is my work at home office. I have about 6 machines, espresso machines in my office. I am a complete geek. And more machines are probably coming at some point. There's just no other way to say it. I love brewing coffee. And if you are like me and you're like-minded and you are a coffee fanatic, then definitely think about subscribing, because there's a lot of goofy coffee stuff I talk about. So definitely cool. So I'm going to get right into it. And one other thing too is I had a subscriber ask a question. And at the end of this video, right before I go live, I want to go ahead and spend some time. And big thank you to Crystal. Guys, if you ever have questions, please put it in the comments below. Especially during these lives, you could go ahead and I am more than happy to answer any questions. That's kind of the purpose of the lives. But if you watch it later, put a comment. Even if you're not live, if you have a question. I'm going to tell you this right now. I am a coffee geek, not a coffee snob. So 20 years ago, like a lot of people in college, worked as a barista a little bit. I actually worked in a Christian coffee house, and I got the bug, and I've been around coffee a lot, only because I got to work with the homeless. I've worked with a lot of different cafe owners to donate things to the homeless. I am a former pastor, but in my day job, I work in commercial sales, so commercial insurance, excuse me. So I do, I work with a lot of business owners, like restaurants and cafes and all that cool stuff. You name it, I work with them. But just say, I am a nerd when it comes to this stuff. So if you ever have a question, I might not give you the best answer, but I will always try to find an answer for you, or I will try to point you to the right direction. I have learned so much from YouTube. People like Tom's Coffee Corner, watching experts like James Hoffman or Lance or Morgan or Coffee Kev. Like, I mean, there's just so many great YouTubers out there. But if you ever have a question, feel free. I'm more than happy to help. So at the end, I'm going to go ahead and answer Crystal's question, because I really think it's an important one. So this is the star of the show. This is the E and B, and this is IMS answer to having a puck screen. I'm going to go ahead and just put the packaging aside here. A puck screen that works perfectly with their IMS basket. So this is the IMS 51 millimeter basket. So I'm going to tell you, this basket, that funny little puck screen land, is designed to work with the Delonghi ECP, the Delonghi Dedica, and here is the portafilter for my, this is one of my many portafilters for my Delonghi ECP. I have a 4-shot basket in there right here, and this 51 millimeter basket IMS, let me just show you right now. It is literally, fits perfect like a glove for this. So it is designed for this. But, my friends, here's the deal. Because it's 51 millimeters, it doesn't mean you have to use it with Delonghi. Delonghi is awesome. I love Delonghi. Delonghi ECP, in my opinion, if you were looking for a budget, hey there, A budget espresso machine, it is going to be hands down my first recommendation. But probably my second recommendation, and for more of the advanced users, that's going to be this awesome one right here. And that's what we're going to be brewing with it today. This is the Hibrew H10B. So here's the actual puck screen. And what I really love is they've included this really neat little magnet. And you basically are able to pick up the puck screen and just gently set it down without disturbing your coffee bed. So I mean, that's kind of the thought process with it. So let me get brewing. Let's get this turned on. We're going to use our Hibrew today. I do have the Gevi that it's sitting on top of. Forgive me, y'all. I'm always running out of space. I don't have a lot of space in my work at home setup here. So let's go ahead and get some beans brewed. That's going to be our first step. Then we're going to go ahead and pull a shot. And we're actually going to go and measure it out. And I might even be geeky enough to use another puck screen from just kind of a third-party company that I've had good results with. Maybe do a comparison. We'll see. I don't know. We'll find out. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and measure out some beans. I am still working with the bag. I tend to go through bags pretty fast. But I did a live review of this awesome Amazon fresh single origin from Nicaragua. Honestly, this thing kind of blew my socks away. I didn't think that it was actually going to be this good. I got it 6 months ago, and the results were okay. I would say for AeroPress. So if you're going to do an AeroPress, perfect. Okay, I love my AeroPress. But espresso-wise, it fell a little flat. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to go ahead. I like finding a deal. I got this bag for like less than $7. And I thought to myself, you know, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm assuming this bag just was roasted a lot fresher because the results have been great. There's just no way to say it. I'm going to shoot for 15 for my grams. I'm also using my Diffuser scale here. This is a very advanced app connected scale. I'm also going to be using my refractometer from Diffuser today to test it out. So, oh, there we go. For this month, if you want to buy it, they're giving 10% off to everyone who watches our channel. So I put the links in the descriptions below, so definitely check that out. Y'all, anything you click on as far as links and all that stuff, the way that works is you don't pay any more for what you buy. Amazon basically sends a little bit of commission. My wife and I both have YouTube channels, and we do share an Amazon storefront page. So, yeah, it's cool. It always helps out. I get to buy more beans. Help me buy more beans. Okay. And today I'm going to be go ahead and grinding this up with my Hibrew grinder as well. So let me get ready for that. So just got this a couple weeks ago. This is the Hibrew. Let's get the board filter ready. Hibrew G5. It's a conical burr grinder. Oh, look at me here. I'm putting the wrong basket in. Watch out. This is what happens when you have too many baskets. If I showed you all my 51 millimeter baskets, you'd be like, good Lord, man, that's crazy. I've collected quite a few baskets in my time. This basket is just phenomenal, so I'm going to tell you that right now. I've had a lot of great luck with that. Okay, so let's go ahead. I've already done some RDT. I'm going to slow feed this thing. That's one of the things I've been loving so much about this. And I'm going to go with the lower RPM setting. There it is. I can hear those lower RPMs. Now, one of the things about the Amazon Fresh, and honestly, my only major complaint, and again, this is kind of a commodity coffee thing, is that you do get, uh, you know, kind of broken beans sometimes. And y'all, I'm gonna be really honest with you. There's some things I'm willing to forgive because of price, and then there's some things I'm not. And for me, I'm really on a budget. I always kind of jokingly say I am a espresso coffee nerd, not a coffee snob, because I can't afford to be. And I say that to my wife all the time. I'm like, hey, I wish I could afford to. I was looking at a La Mercosa, and my wife, she lived for almost 2 months in Florence, Italy. She actually studied and lived and stayed in the monastery. Part of her Bible college. It was pretty cool. Lucky. What an awesome experience. And we always talk about going to Florence because she's like, I love Firenze. And I'm like, yeah, honey, you do realize that like Florence is the headquarters of La Mercosa. Like, that's like my dream. Like, I want to have one so bad. I look at those things. I'm like, it's the Ferrari of espresso machines. You know, they're just so beautiful. Anyway, uh, maybe one day. Maybe one day. Got to aspire to something, right? Alrighty. So let's go ahead. Let's do some quick puck prep. I'm going to turn my machine on. I recently got a question from a viewer of should they go with the Hibrew HB10 or the Delonghi Dedica. Delonghi Dedica is an amazing machine, 110%, and I don't think either one of those is a bad choice. I am very happy with this Hibrew. This Hibrew has really kind of blown me away. So I'm going to go ahead and answer the question right now that one of the viewers asked me, and this is for Crystal. So Crystal, if you hear this later on, thank you for asking me a great question. Crystal let me know that she is seeing impaired and sometimes has some, a little bit of a hard time getting the coffee into the portafilter and was asking for recommendations. So I'm going to share a little story with you really quick. My grandmother's the one who got me loving coffee. She would make this amazing Mexican coffee. I'm Mexican American. That was part of my experience growing up with cinnamon and all this good stuff in it. And she had cataracts, so she was seeing impaired for a portion of her life. And long story short, if it wasn't for her, I would not be in coffee. 100%. I'm going to tell you that right now. So one of the recommendations that I share with Crystal is I definitely think one of the best things you can do is utilize two things, okay? Utilize a dosing cup that has a lip on it like this. There's a lip that when you put it under the portafilter, this is a 58 millimeter portafilter I have in my hand for my Gevi. You could put the portafilter right on top of the dosing cup, flip it, and there isn't a loss in connection. And just make sure, look, even right there, some grounds just went in. It goes right in there and you're going to limit that spillage. So that is really good. That's going to be my first recommendation. So first recommendation, dosing cup, and I'll actually do that right now and show that. Second recommendation would be getting a dosing ring. So let me go ahead, and I'm sure I have many dosing rings. Here's a 51 millimeter dosing ring. This one, I'm not going to go with this method because for this particular portafilter, it doesn't sit quite on top of it the way I want it to. So for an example, this one's a little bit better. So this Delonghi is actually fits it a little bit better. And it all depends on what equipment you have. I have another dosing ring. I have like so many dosing rings. This is a dosing ring for 51. This is probably my favorite dosing ring, and I've liked it so much. I bought the brand in the 58 and the 51. They have magnets on the bottom so that it's not going to fall off. It's going to be really tight on there. And then you just basically dip it in, and it creates just kind of more of a bigger lip so that the actual dosing cup, you can knock it in and not get the grounds all over. That's a very common thing, and I definitely, that's what I'd recommend. I'm going to show it to you with my dosing cup really quick, because I'm also going to kind of do a little bit of a trick. So here, there's one other thing I'm going to recommend. Again, Crystal, great answer, great question. Thank you so much. This is a blind shaker. So this blind shaker is made by MHW Bomber. This is a 51 millimeter. The really cool thing about a blind shaker, it fits right on top of the portafilter, and if you get the right size, it's going to fit perfectly. And what that's going to do is give you some great ways of doing it, as far as getting all the fines mixed together. But it's also going to make that less opportunity to make the spill, basically. Because I'm going to show you the most affordable option and the hack, if you don't want to go buy one of these, which I do highly recommend. And if you're going to buy one, I love Image Bomber. This is my hack. This is my blind shaker hack. So I take my dosing cup, okay, and here's on my grinder dosing cup that came with it. I shake it. I shake it like it's a like a martini shaker. I know I'm silly. I know I'm a dork. Forgive me. But that's my blind shaker poor man's hack. So basically, I've got everything, all my grounds nice and shaken up. Made sure there's the right basket on there. See how I put that on top? No spillage. Okay. Give it a little tap. Perfecto. No spills. So that is definitely an awesome question, and stuff like that, y'all, please share with me, because that's what I'm here for. So I am looking for my dosing ring, because I'm going to put that back on, and I really don't need to do this, but I'm going to anyway. This is WDT, because I actually did a little bit of a blind shake with it, but because you get into habits, and Espresso is all about creating good puck prep habits, I'm always going to do this. Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's do some distribution. Using my cafe distributor. Love the way this thing's made. Very robust. Okay. And gonna go ahead and do a tamp. Nice little tamp on there. I hope I don't choke this thing, because I just realized I had this kind of dialed in for my 58. But these beans have been pretty good to work with. There's just no other way to say it. So if you could see, I'm setting the portafilter prepped, ready to go. I'm going ahead and I'm taking my magnet, picking up my puck screen, dropping in just like that. Less fuss, all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and raise this camera up a bit so y'all can see the magic. Okay. Alrighty. A little bit less working space. I wish I had more working space up here. Okay. Isn't that cool in the shot mirror? See the owl? I love that. Okay, and let's grab our MH Bomber scale so we can be good coffee baristas and measure out our product. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and do the double shot. I do have my doubles. I tend to pull them a little bit more like a longo. But let's see. I haven't pulled in a while on this. I forget what's going to give me. Don't choke. Nice. Right at the red. Good. I'm not in the red. That's what matters right now. Nice, nice. Get some good crema. It's pushing it. It's pushing it. Don't. Good, good. I think I have about as fine as I could put it on the Hibrew. Okay, so it's at 48, 49. Let's stop it right there. So when with the Dedica, with the Hibrew, with the ECP Delonghi, with pretty much all these budget machines, they don't have obviously the three-way solenoid. So just be prepared. You need to make sure, put a little towel or something. So let's go ahead. Let's drop this down here. Let's measure out some good stuff and give it a little taste. So I'm actually going to use my dye fluid. Spoon, give it a little mix. Okay. Just out of pure curiosity, right? Let's test it. Purely for curiosity. All right, so we're at, not bad, 8.80. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. I was actually expecting it to be a little bit less. Let's give it a taste. Salute and cheers. Man, ooh, that is good. Man, I wish I could just send this to you right now. Digitally send it to you across the screen. You know, some Star Trek powers. Oh, that is delicious. Oh, man. Very chocolatey, very rich, good crema, very good mouthfeel. Very excellent mouthfeel. This is why I love a 51 millimeter. I don't know, it's always been one of my favorites to work with. Man, it's just delicious. Shocking. I'm telling you, this Amazon Fresh, it shouldn't taste this good. Like, I'm still a little blown away. In all honesty, I mean, I just like literally am just shocked. I do recommend it, but like I've said before, you're buying something that is a deal. So, you know, don't go in the comments, hey Tony, I got it and it wasn't that fresh. How dare you? You will go. Like, how dare you? You know, I'm sorry, but I'm just telling you, I've had mixed with it. Last time I got it, it was good. And like I said, I used it for pour over. I used it for my AeroPress. It was delicious, made good coffee. I tried it as espresso, and it was a little flat. And then this one's delicious. Go figure. Man. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to pull another shot. But this time, I'm going to do it with a generic puck screen and a generic basket. So that's going to be a good test. Let's just do that. Let's get right down to business. Generic puck screen, generic basket. So remember, this is an official IMS basket. So if you're gonna buy espresso gear, and yes, you want a good value. Don't get me wrong. I'm always about saving, but get something that's good quality. Like I've said before, I've got a bajillion different pieces of equipment, and sometimes I'm like, man, too much. All right, so let's take a look. Let's knock this out. Yeah, it came out. It actually came out just a little bit watery than I thought. Not bad, but... And let's show you the cleaning process with this one. Okay. A little watery, but clean. Came out clean. Like, way cleaner. Okay. Wow, nice and hot. So let that cool down a tiny, tiny bit. And here's the puck screen. And it is a very light puck screen. There's just no other way to say it. It's very fine mesh. Very, very fine mesh. That's the biggest thing. Here's the good side. Obviously, that's going to work great for the espresso. That's what you want. Hardest thing is cleaning. This is definitely going to be some brush work. You know, there's just no other way to say it. Definitely gonna spend a little more time. Probably worth it. That's the best way I would put it. Definitely worth it. But this is definitely gonna be a little more time. So just think about that in a good way, not in a bad way. Let's go ahead. Let me grab a contender. So here is, oh yeah, this is good. This is the Hibrew. Now I wouldn't call this necessarily generic, but this is the basket that came with the Hibrew. So this is not a bad one to go with. So this is a good comparison, but this would be a stock basket. That's a good way to put it. Just a traditional stock basket. Here's the IMS, the owl. Ooh, so cool. Ah, it's nice and hot. Let me grab my towel. This is what happens when you do it live, right, guys? Oh, other cool thing is, I know with this particular portafilter, there's that. But just kind of a little pro tip too. You can always use another basket to loosen it up if it needs to be. And sometimes you have to, especially when it's hot. There we go. Easiest way not to hurt yourself, just use another basket. Out. Okay. And let's go ahead and get the Hibrew in there. So this bottomless portafilter is a third-party one. It is not the one that comes with a Hibrew. This is, other than the handle, I replaced the handle. This is the one that comes with a Hibrew. It's a double spouted. Even in here, I'm using the, I actually really like that little Hibrew as a standard basket. So let's go ahead and do that. And then I have my generic, buck screen. Okay. Let's get some browns. And guys, if there is any type of tip, trick, or thing that you suggest, always feel free to let me know. Like I've said before, I'm more than happy to answer any questions, share some knowledge, but I am always learning, and I don't trust people that say they know everything. I'm going to tell you that right now, because I don't think anybody ever knows anything. I don't care if you're, I remember my grandfather passed away a year ago or so. It's been about a year now. And I remember one of my last conversations with him. He was like, Mijo, I'm in my 90s and I am still learning. God is still teaching me things. And it's really cool to hear someone in their 90s tell you that God is still teaching them things. And our last conversation I ever had with him, he was telling me he wanted to pray for me and my family, and always remember, no matter what, how much him and my grandma loved me. And my grandma passed away a couple years, well, I'd say about 5 years or so before him. Y'all, it's so important. One of the reasons why I started this channel, it's called Faith and Coffee Bean. I used to be a minister, like I mentioned before. But it's so important, that we think about those times with our family. And coffee was the way that I connected with my grandparents. Grandparents owned a construction company. Every morning, everyone in the house woke up really early. Grandma and grandpa would be making coffee, sometimes pastries, and then have kind of this beautiful breakfast for all of us. And I had so many happy memories just smelling coffee and having good conversation with the ones that I love. And as my grandparents have been gone, and I'm in my mid-40s, and they were in their 80s and 90s when they passed, I keep thinking about, every time I have a cup of coffee, it sounds crazy and corny, but it brings me back to thinking about my grandma, my grandpa. And I hope that with my son, that's what he thinks about. He smells coffee. My wife and I, she just lost her grandfather, who was really like her dad, a couple years back, right around the same time. And we were just talking about, she was talking about every time I make coffee in the morning, it reminds her of her papa. And it just blows my mind, because I was like, yeah, me too. It reminds me of him. And I think of him as my father-in-law, because he gave my wife away to me when we got married. And he really was kind of like my father-in-law. Long story. Anyway, I'm just saying, guys, coffee's a good thing. Coffee's the great Great equalizer, in my opinion. Anyway. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and do another slow feed. Got my 15 grams. Exactly pretty much the same. And I'm literally going to go with the same grind size and everything. And y'all, I'm going to be honest with you. There's a reason why I'm doing this. It might choke the system, or it might put it really in the red. And the reason why I kind of wanted to show you this, as goofy as that sounds, is the difference with a precision basket and a standard basket is that the thinking behind it is that you can go finer and have a better experience with your espresso. So that is the thinking. That is kind of the thought process. Let's make sure I clear it. Definitely. Got everything in there. Okay, so let's go ahead, repeat the process because we want it to be similar. Put this right up top, like a martini shaker. Shaking it, shaking it. There we go. Nice. Again, put it right on top. Oopsie. Right on top. Flip it. Give it a tap. No mess. Good way to go for sure. And then I am going to go ahead and grab one of my dosing rings like I did before. I like this one. Can do the exact same thing. Yeah, I'm telling you. I don't know. I've got a feeling. Got a feeling I might choke this one. Oh man. But like I said, this is why those baskets are awesome. Yeah, I didn't get a lot of oversprays. That was really good. You don't want that. I'm not one of those fancy YouTubers. I do have Instagram. I throw stuff on Instagram, but I'm telling y'all, I do not create the Instagram shots. Sometimes I watch Instagram coffee folks, and I'm like, oh man, like, whoa, what wizardry. Some talented people, talented baristas, paid professionals. Folks, I am not a paid professional. I'm just somebody's... I said this to my son the other day. I'm like, I'm just your old dad. He's like, you're not old. It's cool when your kid tries to be nice to you. All right, guys. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to grab my generic puck screen, but I'm going to show you a couple puck screens just because I don't think I've ever really talked about this really quick. So here's kind of a standard puck screen when the puck screens first came out. It's pretty thick. I don't recommend it. This is a really cool brand. I got this on Amazon. Reminds me of MH Bomber, and it has that type of quality. This is, it's an oak. I believe that's what it is. That's a good one. And then this is a generic, literally $3 puck screen. I love this. This has actually been really good. There's just no other way to say it. This is a very generic puck screen. Very, very generic. I don't even think there's a brand for it. It's probably something I got on Amazon, but this is probably something you would get on like Ollie. Again, I drop it in like a pedestrian. Oh, not like a, not with my magnet. Believe it or not, it is low quality metal. The generic one, which I don't care. Like I said, it was really cheap, but the magnet will not pick it up. That's the difference, and that's okay. Like I'm saying, like look, magnet will not touch that one. So magnet, yeah, magnet won't go on this one, but oh no, that would work. Interesting, interesting. Okay, y'all, time for the moment of truth. Okay, let's go ahead and put this bad boy in here. Okay, nice. Let's get a fresh cup. I'll go with a little small cup so we can have very similar look and feel. Okay. Probably should have heated up my cups first, but that's okay. I didn't do it on the last one, so I won't do it on this one. Still had a good tasting cup. Okay, so let's go ahead. We stopped at about 49, so I'll try to do the same. Nice, good donut effect. Not bad. Definitely not bad. But I could tell you, look how red it is. It's angry. It's angry, y'all. It's slow and angry, and it does not like me right now. The Hibrew is mad. I'm sorry, Hibrew. Oh, man, I made you angry. But it does look like it's making some great espresso. Look at that crema buildup. It's coming out slow, but it's definitely coming out well. I'm in the red. I'm not in that right zone, but it definitely is being pushed. That is the difference between baskets. Y'all, I did not change anything. Same beans, same dosage, same grinding methods. Only difference is basket. Look at the overspray on that. Again, not a bad thing. I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world. I bet you this is still going to taste pretty awesome. But I'm just saying, it's just something to think about. All right, let's go ahead and put this here, move this on down. Okay, let's give it the same love and attention we did with the other. Looks like a nice cup of espresso. All right. Nice crema. Okay. Moment of truth. The other one was an 8 point. Okay, there we go. 7.87. The other one was like an 8.8 something, I think. I could be wrong. Run the tape backwards later on. But yeah, definitely lower, lower rating. And that's fine. So, lower rating, but let's see how it tastes. That is the most important thing. 7.87. Almost time to charge that puppy. Been using it a lot lately. Cheers. Ooh, super hot. Good though. It does taste different. Not bad. I'm never going to say bad on that one. Of course, this has time to cool down. It tends to taste a little more, has more clarity. I know I've said it before when we use these type of baskets and all, but there's just no other way to describe it. It has better clarity. You can taste the flavors, better mouthfeel. I wish I had more of this. This is not bad, though. I'm not going to complain. It's still really good. Good chocolate notes. Everything comes through, but it's just not, the body's different. The mouth feels more. I mean, and the numbers don't lie. That's the difference in that good mouth feels. It's because more extraction is happening. When you extract more from your coffee in the right way, it's gonna taste better. Because that's where we get our taste in coffee. Is this a bad cup of espresso because everything's generic? No, not one dang bit. Not a bad cup. I'm happy with it. I'm going to drink it. I think it's delicious. But, is it worth getting that precision basket and the puck screen? Sure. I think they're a good set. I think if you're going to go with anything, you're just going to have one set. Go with it. I don't think there's any... I don't think that would be a bad decision. I'm just trying to see if I just set it down somewhere. Y'all, I am super happy that I got to try this. I do like to do things on a budget. And I will say, this particular option is not the budget option. But I'm going to tell you this. This is the option it's going to give you the best results. This puck screen, I think, is about 25, so it is nice and high-end. The basket, I think, is running about 25 as well. So together, that's a pretty big investment. But again, I already kind of put them away, but if I pulled out all the different baskets I have, you'd be like shocked, like, Tony, what are you doing? Because I bought a lot of baskets that were kind of like, is this the right basket? Is this the right basket? Kind of wish somebody would have told me back in the day, just get the ones you want, or just get the ones you know are going to work. IMS is the company that is a competition grade. A lot of the world championships, barista, they use IMS. It is definitely competition grade stuff. So you can't go wrong. There's just no other way to say it. So anyway, guys, I hope you have a great Sunday. If you've hung out with me this whole time, thank you. You're awesome. Like I said before, it really does help out if you go ahead and you hit subscribe, hit the bell notification. For a small YouTuber like me, it really makes a big difference in how YouTube works. It's really huge. Like, it is. There's just no other way to say it. So definitely really appreciate that. It's the best way to support me. Also, feel free to leave any questions, comments, all that good stuff. And if there's anything you need, seriously, reach out to me. I know that sounds silly when it comes to coffee. Follow me on my Instagram. I'm always putting crazy stuff on my Instagram. I'm not Mr. Instagram model of my espresso shots, but I am a geek. So hope you have a wonderful day, and thanks so much for hanging out with me.